So the first news story I'm very excited about. VShojo has some sort of announcement, you gotta check it out. Now, as you can see here, we have all 9 girls: Melody, Iron Mouse, Hikaru, Zen, Melody, Hajime, Fruit, Nazuna, Henya. The gang's all here. So what is this big announcement? We have absolutely no idea. Now, I've heard some speculation that people are talking about a second wave perhaps, but I don't feel like highlighting all 9 of your current talents in silhouette is an announcement of a new wave, because if it were, they would be different silhouettes other than the 9 we already know about. No, what I think this is an announcement of everybody getting a 3D model, because if you look at the shading on this, it's very clearly not hand-drawn. The shadows don't fall in an artistic way, they fall in a more blocky and random way that light falls when shown on a 3D model. So I think that's the announcement here, and I'm really excited to see everybody's 3D model. Now, of course, multiple members have already had a 3D model before, but these outfits do look super hype, and I'm definitely hoping we're gonna have like a big 3D collab where everybody's in like VR chat or something. I think that would be hype. But the main story I wanted to talk about was about Narukami. Insert clip about Narukami here to give context to why we care about Narukami.
Meiro, who was terminated over a year ago for copying the way Yuzuki Roa speaks, as well as taking DM conversations with Yuzuki and Niji-sanji management and leaking them to Narukami Sabaki, who is another VTuber news/drama channel. Meiro had claimed to be bullied by Yuzuki Roa and Niji-sanji management, and so after threatening retirement multiple different times, Niji-sanji promptly terminated Meiro back in 2020, with Yuzuki Roa not streaming a single time since then, even though she still is employed with the company. Now we jump to December 30th of 2021, a whole year plus after the entire incident, with Roa coming back with this statement announcing that she was in the middle of legal proceedings with another VTuber for making slanderous videos about her. Her and her lawyer are attempting to obtain the VTuber's personal information. Users stated that she wanted to release the statement sooner, however her lawyer advised against doing so since it could hinder any court proceedings. This statement has led many to believe the VTuber in question that user was attempting to gain personal information from is Narukami Sabaki for the various videos that were released at the time.
Or to summarize it another way, there was a VTuber drama channel much like my own who covered some drama and allegedly started spreading malicious rumors. I say allegedly because since the original videos are in Japanese, I can't watch them and decide for myself whether or not those videos themselves were harmful. But I will definitely say the ethics of reporting on drama is definitely a gray area that is very easy to cross when you're hungry for clicks and more than happy to speculate on shit that you don't actually know. Even I've been accused of doing this myself, so the idea of a VTuber drama channel getting sued is really not that far out there. Especially when you consider that the defamation laws in Japan have a much lower bar to clear than they do here in the United States. His post goes on to say, "We would like to inform you that the dispute with Mr. Roa Matsuki, which has been going on for a long time, has come to an end. However, I can't finish it in a word or two, and because it would be troublesome if there were more discrepancies, I will explain the results in my own words. Therefore, we will hold a press conference from 2100 hours today, so please look forward to it." And that was back on August the 1st. And he did indeed later stream on Twitcasting Live. Now, I've never used this service before, and I also don't speak Japanese, so I really have no context for what happened during this stream. However, later that same day he goes on to clarify also to each media who inquired about this matter, or to those who are equivalent to it, since it was in dispute, I refrained from saying anything about this matter, even behind the scenes. As a result, I apologize for taking a rude attitude of not returning the contact. If you are still interested in interviewing me, please contact me again. So in other words, he ignored people asking for interviews because he was in the middle of a dispute and didn't want to get in trouble. He later goes on to clarify that the matter has been resolved. Now, since it would benefit me not at all in order to watch a stream in a language I don't understand, let's take a look at some of the top comments. Such as this one saying, "Thank you for your hard work, it's a break, I wonder if civil affairs will come later." I believe that's a reference to a civil suit as opposed to a criminal lawsuit. And based on this Google translated Japanese to English sentence, what I believe they're implying is that he was not guilty on criminal charges, but there's a possibility of a civil suit. If I'm interpreting this correctly, do not take that as fact. That is speculation. This comment saying, everyone is saying that there will be a civil trial, but if you say it's settled, could you please explain in detail? Unfortunately, there is no comment further explaining in detail. This comment saying, with the non-prosecution of the criminal case, a certain level of truth has been recognized, so even if it becomes a civil case, I think it will be difficult to pay compensation of over 1 million yen. I don't think it's possible, but it was quite an eyesore because not only Matsuki Roa, but also Any Color. So what I believe this is saying is that Any Color is looking for damages of over 1 million yen from this content creator. Now, although obviously the stream isn't going to do me much good, he did thankfully post everything on a text file that I was able to translate from Japanese to English. So let's take a closer look at this. As it was reported on Tuesday, Matsuki Roa and Any filed a damage report against the company ended in non-persecution. This matter is still misunderstood, rather because there were many people who weren't involved in the matter, but were delusional, the truth wasn't communicated. In addition, 2021 was the year when my YouTube channel disappeared and there was a dispute going on, so I couldn't easily correct it. Which does make sense. If your YouTube channel has been terminated, obviously you can't make a YouTube video explaining your situation, which explains why he needed to go on Twitcast to explain everything. He goes on to say, strictly speaking, it's probably been 2 years since I've become obedient. And I think what he means by that is that for the past 2 years, he's been fairly by the book and cooperative with this legal trial. I think that's what he's meaning. I didn't do anything like change the channel and revive it, so I wonder if it was reflected in the world. And I think what he's referring to is that when his channel got taken down, he didn't take steps to just create a new channel, which is relatively easy to do. And he's hoping that's going to look good on him because he didn't try to evade the ban. He goes on to clarify the reason why the YouTube channel was banned was not because of Roa Mutsuki, but because of the cover, and it was a copyright violation by using a hololiver for the thumbnail of the video. Now, this will ring familiar for longtime viewers of this channel because you'll remember that both Kyo and False ID got copyright strikes for having a Niji Sanji talent in their thumbnail. This is a tactic that both Cover and Any Color use to go after channels they don't like and copy strike the channel. They use the fact that we put images of the talents in the thumbnails for clicks against us, so they have an excuse to copyright strike us, because they can't really copyright strike us for the content itself, because very rarely are we actually showing any footage from streams. And even when we do, it's very, very limited amounts, and only in the minimum context is required for the news. So that's all fair use. But apparently having them in your thumbnail isn't fair use? I don't understand how that works. He goes on to say, some people believe baseless information saying I got banned for spreading rumors, which is just a hoax because that's not what was prosecuted. I am going to take this with a pinch of salt because that is probably why he was targeted by this copyright strike, because there's a lot of people making Hololive and Niji Sanji content who put livers in their thumbnails that don't have this trouble. The whole having a liver in your thumbnail is really just an excuse so they can persecute you for something that they're actually mad about. Now, this article does get a little bit confusing and contradictory, and I have to imagine that's due to the language barrier, because previously he said that Matsuki Roa wasn't the reason for his channel termination, but then he goes on to elaborate here saying that Roa did file a damage report for defamation, and he even had to bring out evidence and go into interrogation over this defamation. So those two statements don't really jive well. And the last relevant thing that I'm going to post here is that now that this legal case is settled, he's going to go back to streaming regularly. And both him and his fans are of course very excited about this. So let me know what you guys think about this case. Are you surprised that he wasn't criminally charged for what he did? Do you think there's going to be a civil case down the line? Any and all thoughts, let me know down below. Bye guys.